let's start. One of my student, he asked me a question, and that was a very basic question, that when we calculate the depreciation, so there are two most common methods. One of them is a straight line method and the other one of them is a reducing balance method. So why is it that when we calculate the depreciation, we do deduct the residual value from the cost while calculating the depreciation using the straight line method, but we do not deduct the residual value while calculating the depreciation under the reducing balance method, and rather what we do is that we directly apply the depreciation rate to the cost of the asset. So what I thought was that this is one of those things which just like him, a lot of students might actually not know. So I thought that maybe I should give a small tutorial on this specific topic, that how do you exactly determine the rate of depreciation for the reducing balance method. So now, before I proceed, I am going to take this example where I am being told that the cost of the asset is 100,000 and the residual value is 24,010. The cost of the asset is 100,000 and the residual value is 24,010. The useful life of the asset is 4 years. Now, if I have to calculate the depreciation under the straight line method, what am I going to do? I'll simply do it this way, that I would say 100,000 less 24,010 divided by 4. So I will get a depreciation expense per year. What am I going to get? I'll get the depreciation expense per year. Now, this is what happens under the straight line method, and this is quite an easy method to handle. This is what happens under the straight line method, and it's one of those very easy method to handle. So resultingly what happens is you end up getting a depreciation of 18997.5 per year. That is what you end up getting, or 18998. Now, if I have to, I mean, you do know this thing, that we depreciate an asset using the straight line method when we believe that the asset is going to give equal benefits over its life. When we think that the asset is going to give equal benefits over its life, so what we do is that we use the straight line method. Now, the question mark that arises is, when do we use the reducing balance method? When do we use reducing balance method? So for us to use the reducing balance method, what we do is that we use reducing balance method when we consider that the asset would give greater benefit, when the asset would give greater benefit in the initial years and lesser benefits in the subsequent year, and the lesser benefits in the subsequent year. So what we do is that we use the reducing balance method. Now, if I ask you people to establish the depreciation under the reducing balance method using this data, using this information, so many of you would ask me that, sir, what is going to be the depreciation percentage? What is going to be the depreciation percentage? So now, let me tell you that if you have to calculate the depreciation percentage under the reducing balance method, then there is actually a formula which you need to keep in mind. What is that formula? That is basically, when we calculate the depreciation rate under reducing balance method, what we try to do is that we try to say that the cost of the asset is 100,000 and the residual value of the asset is 24,010. So basically what happens is, this asset has to be depreciated by 4 years, year 1, year 2, year 3 and the 4th year. So the depreciation rate should be such that, that it should actually take this cost to the residual value at the end of 4 years. I repeat, the rate of the depreciation is to be established in such a manner that it actually takes the cost of the asset to the residual value at the end of its useful life. So how do we establish it? We establish it this way. What we simply do is that we say 100,000 multiplied by 1 minus r power 4, which is power n. Now why 100,000 multiplied by 1 minus r? Because what happens is, every year when you are depreciating, the net book value of the asset keeps on decreasing. So when you have to decrease it, you have to reduce it. It need not to be 101 plus R. It has to be 1 minus R. So 100,000 into 1 minus R power 4 is equivalent to 24,010. And if you solve this equation, so resultingly what would happen is you would say 1 minus R power 4 is equivalent to 24,010 divided by 100,000. And then what you would happen is 1 minus R is equivalent to root power 4 0.24010. 24,010 divided by 100,000, resultingly it's going to be 0.2401. That's what it is. And when we solve it, so resultingly what happens is we end up getting this 1 minus 0.7 is equivalent to R. 4 this is the answer. Okay, so resultingly R is going to be 0.3, or other way around you could say R is going to be 30%. So what happens is that if you have to depreciate this specific asset using the reducing balance method, then you have to use the depreciation rate of 30%. How did I establish this depreciation rate of 30%? So I use this specific concept, which is the asset would be depreciated from its cost, and it would be depreciated over a period of 4 years in such a manner that at the end of its life, at the end of its useful life, it will reach the residual value, which is 24,010. So resultingly 30% is what the rate is. Now, a lot of you people would ask me that why don't you demonstrate to us that it is actually 30% that is going to be the use. So let me guide you that this is actually going to be 30%, which would lead you to the achievement of 24,010. Now let's just see. The cost of the asset at time period 0 is 100,000. You depreciate it at 30%. So you end up getting 30,000. Resultingly, you are left with 70,000. This is at the end of year 1. Then what happens is you depreciate it again at 30%. So when you depreciate it again at 30%, it's going to become 21,000. So resultingly what happens is 70,000 minus 21,000 gives you 49,000 at the end of year 2. Then you depreciate it again at the rate of 30%. So resultingly what happens is you end up getting 14,700. And then what actually happens is it's actually going to be like this: 34,300 at the end of year 3. And if I depreciate it again at the rate of 30%, I repeat, if I depreciate it again at the rate of 30%, this is going to be 10,290. And if I deduct 10,290 out of it, resultingly what would happen is I'll end up getting 24,010. And this is exactly what I wanted. That I wanted this asset to reach its residual value. So if any one of you has got a question in mind that why is it so that we do not deduct the residual value from the cost of the asset while establishing the depreciation under reducing balance, so here is an answer to you that the depreciation rate considers this residual value. The depreciation rate considers the residual value, and what happens is this asset, when it is depreciated at its cost, it ultimately reaches its residual value while using this specific rate. So this is the concept of how the depreciation rate is established under reducing balance method, and also another concept that why we do not deduct the residual value at the time of establishing the depreciation per year under reducing balance method. So thank you very much all of you. Thank you for your time. See you soon inshallah.